All right, Happy New Year. Welcome back to Highfleet. Let's get on with this. So, where we are right now is where we left off. We've got this strike. Here we go. Okay, it's just starting for me. I love it. Right, we know that there is a strike fleet somewhere in the region of Shebad. We've made a lot of noise taking the city. What's the name of the city again? Taking the city of Unnamed. We made a lot of noise because it has no name. And I have pulled the Desertsky out of the city in the fear that it's going to be attacked. And I brought back the Sleepy Pupper, which has an Elend and an IR sensor, to just check what's going on. And we've just flown into the city and we have an IR trace. You might just be able to see there's two little dots here on my IR search scanner that are slightly brighter than the rest. And if I just change my tracking distance, you can hopefully see there's a peak here. So we have something coming into the city quite fast, and it's probably a missile. It's most likely a missile. So we have two options here. We can run away, and I definitely want to get the Sleepy Pupper out of here. I'm going to pull it down this way so it can try and outrun the missile, because it's not going to dodge it at this range. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to get the Screamer up in the air to fly in this direction, and once it gets a little bit away, I'm going to turn on its radar jammer. And the goal there is actually, did I fully fuel it before I made it take off? It looks like it's got a decent amount of fuel, but let's just put it back in. Screamer, 100% fuel. I want to get it to fly sort of up into this region here, and I'm going to get it to turn on its radar jammer, and depending on how things go, we may find ourselves deploying the Frankston and the Crazy Horse to do some work with backup from the what's our flagship called again? From the Tyrannus and the Crazy Horse, with the Frankston doing some air support as well. So let us unpause the game and see how this plays out. This could go very badly very quickly. So there's definitely, if we just go back here, definitely something coming in at 30 degrees. So let's just map that really quickly. So from this point here, oh, that's the wrong tool. That's why I can't draw a line. If I get out my ruler tool, get it at 30 degrees, which the game will hopefully happily show me, there's something coming in at this angle here. Let's just keep an eye on this contact. We're leaving it behind. It could actually be, now we've just lost it. It could actually be a trade fleet ship. Just looking at that contact there, we've still got a decent amount of fuel here. We'd link back up with him. The fuel here isn't great, but let's just see what we can see. Let's see if we can pick that trace back up, because we've lost the trace. But if it is a tanker, we're a lot faster than it. I'm not seeing anything on infrared. We'll go a little bit further. We have a little bit more time. Just got the trace. So we've got the thrusters from these guys here, but I can't see anything else coming up on our infrared, which we should have probably found by now. So I'm not sure if there's anything here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to land these guys in the desert here, so they don't use up any fuel, and I'm going to turn the radar jammer on the Sleepy Pupper. And I'm going to put it, so let's see the Screamer. I'm going to put it here and just see what happens. We'll just check on everything else for a second. We've got 12 hours of repairs here, 4.6 hours of repairs here. Let's just see if we pick anything up on Elend if we've got the radar jammer on. So what's going to happen now is any enemies that do a radar sweep in this quadrant, so say if there is a fleet sitting here in Shebad and their radar is on, whenever they scan over this area, they're going to pick up a very loud blip. And what the AI should do is come and investigate it. When it does that, any missiles they fire will home in on the strongest radar signal in the area, which will be the jammer, which means my ships nearby will be safe. This ship is also fast enough to outrun most missiles, unless I think it can actually it can't outrun A100s, but they'll be very close to us if they're firing A100s, so we'll know they're coming. But if they're firing ballistic missiles at me, this ship can outrun them, so we can lure them into a trap, we can bring them south, and then if we are picking something up, we'll bring these guys up and we'll destroy them in detail, and we can link up these two fleets to do something about them. But for the meantime, I just want to see, now these guys have no fuel, which isn't ideal, but we can deal with that. It's not really a huge issue. I'm more interested in what their Elend is going to pick up. Nothing is coming through so far. It is all about the Elend. We'll give it a bit of time because the Elend range is a bit awkward. We've got a 1,500 kilometer bubble, but it doesn't quite work like that. So if they were in Shebad, we wouldn't actually pick them up straight away. because they are a little bit south of there. Let's just make this guy fly a little bit further north. And what I'm actually going to do is let's just pretend something's going to happen. We'll use this as a test. I'm going to deploy the Crazy Horse and the Tenaris with a full tank of fuel. Oops, zoomed in on the map. And I'm going to get them to link up with our guys on the ground here. I'll get them to fly right next to them, and they'll get them to take up. They'll take off and join them. In the meantime, I do have the other Screamer over here in Shaley. It's going to pick up the D100, the D80 model that this fleet has to bring down to add on to our bigger ship. So I'm just moving him a bit further north just to make sure he's definitely in a radar range of Shebat. Just see if anything gets picked up here. If anything interesting happens. Now that's interesting. We have a very large heat spike north of this ship. So I think it's got a missile incoming. So let's send it left. Well, west. Oh wait, it flew north, which I don't really like. No, sorry. Who is it I'm detecting here? Oh, it was our flagship. Stupid. Sometimes it's hard to keep track of who you have selected in situations like this. And I'm trying out a new tactic here. Trying not to burn up too much fuel either. Let's just put the fuel down to loiter speed. Making them do tighter corners. Got nothing coming up on Elend at the moment. They're on the floor and jamming. Nothing appears to be happening, so I wonder if these guys are either not taking the bait or they're not in range. That's them landed. Still nothing on Elend. Nothing on infrared. Wait for these guys to join up here, and then we'll maybe just quest a bit further north. I also waiting for these guys to finish repairing, and they'll move in and take this city. 2 hours left here. They've got low morale, so I don't want them getting into a fight for a while. As soon as these guys are in range, they're going to join up with this fleet here. I'm actually going to get this whole fleet to land in the city. Because this in front is acting like a shield, but just nothing's coming through. Also, the suggestions to put an Elend scanner on these ships is an excellent idea, and I'm going to do it when I get the next chance I can. I'll drop them in a city of the hidden people and just do it. Okay. Okay, it's worked. Here we go. Here we go. It's action. Alright, Elend detected. 30 degrees. Maximum range. Use the wrong tool again. So if we come out here at 30 degrees, that's 31 degrees, that's 30 degrees. The enemy are somewhere along this line. I've only got one rating, and they're somewhere along this line. This fleet has Elend too? They don't have Elend. I didn't mount Elend on them, because they're not supposed to get into combat, of course. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to bring this fleet back here just so they can refuel. And then we'll see what's happening. So I'm going to bring these guys, how are they doing for fuel? I don't have a huge amount of fuel. I'm going to leave them on the ground for a little bit longer, but I want to be very careful. I'm going to bring them back towards the city, but off from the city, so that they can pull any missiles away from themselves once we get a bit closer. But let's just unpause for a second and keep an eye on this Elend contact. So it's at Elend 1 at the moment. We're going to join these guys up with these guys now, and we're going to order them to land here to refuel. We've lost the Elend contact. We've lost the Elend contact by the looks of it. So they're right on the edge of our Elend range. So they're probably somewhere up around here. Jammer's still running here. And these guys are heading into the city. And they definitely have enough fuel for that. Yeah, they definitely have enough fuel for that. They've got tons of fuel. Cool. Let's go to land, refuel. We'll do some repairs on the Deserski now that we can. And we'll keep an eye on Elend. This guy's not going to get any trouble until our Elend gets hit. I'm just going to pull him back a bit closer to the city. To pull the enemy a bit closer to the city. I'd also put him a bit closer so I can get it back to refuel when I need to. Bearing in mind that he can refuel in seconds. 6.5 hours left on refueling here. They finished refueling, but they're on low morale. I'm going to wait until they hit 5 morale, or this gets a bit dangerous. See if we can detect another strike group as well. These guys have landed. Let's check what's going on here. They have not landed yet. They are landing. Okay, they're now on the ground. I'm going to land the Deserski. Although it says it has no damage, so I'm not going to bother doing that. I thought there might be a Tarkan here, but there is not. Let's refuel. That's just full fuel for the fleet. We might not be able to sit here and get it all, but we can sell it if we go over. There's prox fuse here, I've got 94. Let's just top up on prox fuse. Armor piercing I'm actually happy with. 100 kilogram bombs I'm happy with. Anything in the shipworks worth buying or selling with this fleet? We've got one D80 mod, which we want to get back to the fleet, but nothing here worth selling. Okay, now I can concentrate on what's going on while these guys refuel. So what we're paying attention to here is the Elend, but we're also paying attention to our infrared. Infrared is going to be a bit tricky to help out with because the range on it is so limited. It's got a let me just confirm this. I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, it has a 450 kilometer range, but I want to make sure. Elend is, IRST is 300 kilometer range, okay? So I keep calling it Elend. I'm not great to confuse these things. So from this city, we have a warning bubble for incoming missiles of 350 kilometers. So any missiles that get fired at us, we will detect them when they enter this bubble if we pay attention, which means that this ship is in our radar protection bubble, but because it is on the ground, it's not ideal. So I'm actually going to get it to turn off its jammer for a second and fly into the city and just top up its fuel. And we're just going to sit here and see what comes up on Elend. Okay. He's now basically full on fuel instantly. They're on low morale. We're just going to sit here and wait for a couple seconds. I'm loath to push north while I don't know where the Strikefleet is. And the Strikefleet knows that I'm in the area. I'm trying to pull them down towards us. I'd be expecting to see them show up here by now, but they haven't done so yet. I've got a transmission coming in though. This is probably a radio signal about us. Alright, it's coming in from Shebad. Travel speed 120, unlike to Sharbid Tarshish heavy machinery. Okay, there is a trade fleet flying from Shebad to Tarshish, which is here. So we could intercept that if we take it with this fleet here, but I want to do it when the silent strike alarm is not ongoing. That is not important to what we're going through right now, however. I've never tried to do this before. I've never tried to commit to an operation in an area I haven't really captured like this. I would normally wanted to capture all the towns around here so I've got safe places to land. But all I really need to do is scout out with the Crazy Horse, with the Sleepy Pupper and the Screamer. Locate the fleet, hit it with aircraft, hit it with missiles, and then finish it off with the Dezersky. And if I've got it repaired in time, hit it off with the Rooster Mark III as well. I really want to pull this off. I really want this to work. I think it'll be really exciting to get it to happen. I want to feel more like a hunter with this playthrough than I did in the last one, where I really did feel like prey for most of it and was only attacking when I had overwhelming force, which is the best time to attack, obviously. Right, we are fully refueled here. We have taken Nimrath and pulled out of it. Oh, we've got another radio signal coming in. It's on the non-military band, or the non-urgent band. Got a strong signal. Looks like that's coming from maybe Nimrath? It's coming from Nimrath or Tarshish. It's okay. It is encoded, but yeah. We can try. So we're quite this word here is quite likely 2. So if I just mess around, so I'm pointing with my finger. The 2-letter word here is most likely 2. So what I can do is I can mess around with this until I get that to say 2. Sorry, my mouse wheel is very slidey. Alright. None of these other words look correct, however. It could be, what else could it be? En route? Something to something. Hang on, what's the layout of these messages? That one is also encrypted. Are they all encrypted now? Or is it because I messed with this? If I set this back to 000, do they get unencrypted? Okay, travel speed. So it could be on. It could be EN. So let's just try that with EN instead. So this is our encrypted message again. Let's set that back to 0. So that should be an N. And this should be an E. These 5s aren't right. Alright, we don't have enough information to decode that message right now. That's fine. Let's just keep playing and see what's going to happen next. I can puzzle that out later. Okay. This is what I was expecting to happen. We've got our Elend Contact. So, first things first, let's get the Screamer up in the air. And I'm actually going to bring it to about here with the jammer on. What that's going to do... Oh, did I do it again? Let's just check it's got a full... Hang on. You get back in the fleet. Okay, launch you with full fuel. So head over this way and get up in the air. The reason we're doing that is to pull any attacks away from my main fleet. Alright, once it's past maybe this area here, we are going to activate the jammer. Okay, we're at this shouldn't be active with Elend. Oh, it's because I've launched the whole fleet because I'm really bad at this game. Cool. Screamer, I want you to head north with how much fuel you got? You got fuel for days. Okay. You head north. Right. Now that you're heading north, activate your jammer and fly next to the fleet up here to attract the attention of the enemy away from us. We're going to fly this way until we've got them pretty much hid down. We're actually going to locate them with the Screamer. It's basically like a plane. Elend 3. They should be very, very close at this point. You guys just keep heading this way. They must be near Nimreth. Very worried about flying him straight into a missile. Okay, we're up to Elend 3. It's still at 60 degrees. We'll just confirm that I've got the angle right. Yeah, 60 degrees puts it pretty much at Nimreth, okay? So you guys just keep flying along this axis here. We've still got a reasonable amount of fuel in this fleet because I've got these big tankers. We'll just keep looking for them with the Screamer. I think we're going to find them in this city. Elend 3 still. Got a transmission just before we hit the city. Not ideal. Yeah, okay. Ooh, okay. Okay, let's screw this transmission. I don't care. We found the Strikefleet. So, you speed down for a second. I want you down to a speed where we're not going to lose them straight away. So down to 300 kilometers per hour. And just head this way. Okay? You. We're going to launch planes. I want T7s in the air with bombs. Actually, I want to send you in... Do you want bombs or rockets? They're on the ground right now. They're going to take off pretty quickly, but I think I can hit them with bombs before they take off from this range. So, bombs. I should have sent them in ones. I should have done that if I think about it, because they may have anti-air defenses. Okay, bombs away. You just hover in this area. If there's any missiles come for you, you start screaming out of there. Head north. Keep an eye on them. Have they taken off yet? They're probably going to take off before my fleet hits them, unfortunately. Next thing I want to do is I want to hit them with A100s. We're not in range of A100s yet. Okay, they are now screaming our position, but they're heading north. Unfortunately, they're in the air, so these bombs will probably be ineffective, but I still want to try and hit them with them. All of you, just make sure you're hitting this. Yeah, you're all still on target. Okay, so here comes a bombing run. You start heading this way. Bring them towards us. Get ready to retreat if we see any missiles coming for us. The one good thing is because it's a Strikefleet, we should be... we should be okay with hitting them with bombs. So I had to retreat those guys to make sure that that missile didn't hit them. I'll order them back in on an attack as soon as they get out of this fight. Okay, I'll wait for everyone to attack first, so just get ready to dodge another sprint if they launch. No sprint is launched. Will they miss? The bomb should hit. Wow. Okay, excellent strike. That's exactly what you want to see from an airstrike. One plane, one bomb, one kill. There's going to be so much loot on that corpse, and we can hit it. We can land the Screamer on the corpse to loot it instantly if they manage to take the other ship out. In the meantime, it's already a good enough opportunity that I want the Dezersky to attack this fleet. I don't even think I need to launch A100s here. Second plane's going in. It's a pretty good hit. It's so weird without the interference from dithering in here. He's on fire, which is nice. Alright, and then we've got one more plane. And then we've got the 2 planes that I evacuated at the start to come back in. That first bombing strike was absolutely beautiful. I'm actually not going to hit them with that with the other 2. This ship is significantly hurt. I want to hit it with the Dzersky, which is going to be a hard fight, but I want the loot. I need the money. So you guys return to base. You turn off your jammer. I don't need it anymore. And you RTB to this fleet here. You guys just keep an eye on them while the Dzersky comes in. And then my ship bearing. Yeah, and the cool thing is the enemy think we're up here. So this is all on the Dzersky now. This is all on me actually being able to fly a plane in this game. So best of luck to me. Now they've detected us down here, which is not great, to be honest. So we've got 1 Negev. The Negev is reasonably badly damaged. It has no armor on the top. It has no armor below. Because of the situation, I'm actually going in with Prox Fuse. We have our bomb as well, which I will try and launch on this guy. I've got 7 morale, so I've got 7 attempts at this fight. I'm not going to lie. I haven't played a lot over Christmas and New Year. I'm probably going to be quite rusty. This is going to be a tricky fight. Let's go. That's rude. Shoes. We lost some. Where's my missile not firing? Oh, because we already won. Well, we got it. That was a bit of an anticlimax, but I'm going to take the easy win. So we've got 2 deity Molots. We've got an MR500 early warning radar system. People talked about me not getting one of these for our flagship. I have one now, if I can pick it up. Fuel tanks, ammo, radio rooms, cabin. So let's just look at this. This I really want to put on the flagship. This I want to, because they're good and can sell it for money. Obviously to make sure this ammo doesn't explode. I think I can go Molot, ammo, fuel tanks, MR500. I think. Let's try for that. Meanwhile, rest of the fleet. I want, from here, the Sleepy Pupper to go here. And the rest of the fleet to head back to the City of the Hidden People, which they should have plenty of fuel to do. They do. Just get out of the area. Okay. That was a great strike. I'm really happy with how that played out. As soon as they hit morale 5, I'll get them to move out. They've almost finished repairing as well. Now, I need to be careful with the fact that the enemy know we're here. But I think we'll be okay. Because we've taken the strike group out. We need to worry about the airstrikes. Okay, that's the deity Molot picked up. This ammo is about to explode. We're about to lose this Molot. That's okay. As long as I get the MR500. And then we're going to duck our heads down for the rest of the alarm once we finish looting this place. Okay, we're going to grab this Molot while we can. Now I'm a bit worried about getting the fuel and the MR500 together, but I'm going to try for it. So we'll do fuel next. Also, we got super lucky there. We didn't have any bad effects from going for a dangerous item in the getting the 80 Molot with the yes, okay. I've got the MR500. I'm so excited. Okay. Any more attack groups in the area? There's a missile carrier group up here in Haran. So our next nearest strike group is, I believe it is Cephis, which is up here in Jaffa. They will be heading south now that we've made some noise. I'm actually going to leave all of this here because what I want to do at the end of the campaign is actually scroll through the map and look at all the markings we've made on it. So as long as this isn't interfering with my ability to read what's going on in this area, which it shouldn't do, then I'm going to leave it there. How long to you guys at morale 5? Probably a while yet. Okay. Let's turn dangerous here, though. You're at 81%. I'm going to leave you there until you get to morale 5. These guys have finished. Let's get you to hit Kushan. Obviously, alarm is raised right now, which is going to make my fights a bit harder, but I can't afford to just sit around like I have been. I'm going to pull these guys back to the City of the Hidden People just to get them out of the front line and out of the way for a little while. And what they'll do in that time is... oh, actually, before they take off, really quickly, let's sell the excess fuel. And thank you so much for all the people who commented on the right-click to sell the excess fuel because, wow, that's a money saver. Okay, get them to fly south. They've almost got 5 morale. We'll get them to take Tarshish. And let's just get away from Nimreth. It's not safe in Nimreth. Alright. I'm quite happy with how that played out. That worked out really well. That's one strike fleet. Very weak strike fleet, I'm not going to lie. You know, that was the weakest strike fleet on the board, easily. But it's one less that's hunting for us. And usually you get 5 that spawn. I've heard that you can get more, sometimes 6 or 7. I've never seen that. I think we actually had 6 in our last campaign. Sorry, I just need a quick swig of tea there. So that's one less strike group to hunt us down. Every strike group we take out is a huge victory. Alright, Kushan's about to be hit. We're at still low morale here. I want to wait until that hits morale 5. They're at, what are they at? 90%. It might be cutting it too fine. We'll see how it's looking after we take Kushan here. We're 1 hour out from Kushan. Rooster B, the Rooster 3 will hit it as soon as it gets into range. The Rooster 3 has 2 missiles, judging by the silhouette here. So we should have pretty good weaponry to take on anything scary in this city. We'll make a bit more money, hopefully. They're bringing back a D80 Molot as well, which is great. They're going to leave behind a D80 Molot for the Screamer that's with them as well. That's really important. But let's see how this attack goes. And also, I've got them in the right order this time because a lot of people made fun of me for almost attacking with a tanker. The important thing I think you need to bear in mind is, yes, I almost attacked with a tanker, but I didn't actually attack with a tanker, and that's the important thing. So the alarm is still raised, which is a bit awkward here, but I want to make some gains, and I want to pull the enemy down south a little bit. A slugger and 2 sluggers and a ballistic. We can take this, even in the air. I'm pretty happy. Don't even need to use my missiles if I don't want to, and they are in my new protected missile holders, so we'll see how that goes. Also, now that I'm using the adaptive crosshair, I'm really liking it. Also, I'm going to need to remember that I don't talk when I fight because I will miss. I probably should focus on the sluggers, actually. And there's a fire. Okay, let's just restart that and play that a bit more seriously. I'm trying to hit the slugger, by the way, not the ballistic. This is why you kill the sluggers first. Flew into that missile. So, before I continue, a couple of people have pointed out the actual best way to do your flare deployment on the ship is to have all your flare launchers pointing in one direction, so you always know which direction to dodge away from, and that is excellent advice, and I'm going to be refitting the Roosters when I get the chance, so that their flare launchers are not shooting in every direction, because whilst it looks great, it means you sometimes fly into missiles like that, because you don't know which direction to dodge into. And this time I'm going to win the fight. Where are the sluggers? Where are the sluggers? They are. Oh, for goodness sake, let's just launch the missiles. Ugh. You can definitely tell I'm rusty. That's better.
The enemy has been destroyed.
I did not mean to shoot that escape pod. I do not agree to war crimes. Nor do I condone war crimes. Oh, frustrating lack of aim right now. And again, just need to get my eye back in. And that's a good shot. Okay. So a bit messy, but we took it, and I'm not going to go back on it. We used up enough morale as it is. We lost a missile. We took a bit of damage. Let's just loot Kushan and get out of here as quickly as possible. The Rooster 3 just hit level 6. Let's get Fetch Engineer. Wow, there's a lot of stuff to loot here. We've got 2 Molots. We've got an A220, which is also worth a lot of money. Obviously the fuel and the ammo. We've got plenty of time. Let's start with the A220 and see what we can get away with. Meanwhile, morale here, we're up to 97. We'll wait for them to hit morale 5. Oh, we need to repair down here. Let's just get the Dzersky on the ground. How's it going to repair in the air, actually? Do I need to land it? It's going to take 2.9 hours. That's fine. We do have Zeniths in stock. So let's just mount a Zenith as well. And we've got those Molots too, so let's just jump onto the Collingwood here. And we'll just mount the other Molots that we need to mount. And that's how you do an in-mission... It's an in-mission procurement. And then the Frankston. I did want to mount a radar on this ship. Because I did have a radar here originally. And I replaced it with an Elend. Do I actually want a radar on this ship, or was it the Crazy Horse I wanted to put a radar onto? I can't remember what ship I wanted to put the radar onto now. I'll have to go back and check the video. That's okay. I wasn't expecting to get the radar so quickly. I do have a ship I want to mount this radar on. I just can't remember which of my ships it is. It may be the missile launcher ship, actually. We'll check that later. Okay, we've got our next rescue order. All right, how are we looking? The fuel tanks are getting close to blowing, but we can probably grab one more weapon before they do. Let's get this Molot. I'm going to take the risk on the survivors because now that we've made so much noise, I actually want to keep my head down for a bit. How is... We're morale 5 here. Let's get attack group location. There's an missile carrier group up here. And let's take Tarshish, which will be a hard mission because it'll be in the red. Let's grab the fuel tanks next, which means the survivors are going to die, unfortunately. 17 died. Morale loss. Kindness -1. Yeah, we're taking lots of kindness hits here. And this is why... at the start of the campaign, I picked a choice in one of the first cities we went to that gave me a kindness hit. Negative kindness. And a lot of people thought that was not a great decision to make, but I knew that I was going to be taking kindness hits on looting in this campaign. So that's one of the reasons I took it without really too many qualms. What we'll do once we're taken here, by the way, is we'll fly over to Nimreth. No, Nimreth's pretty unsafe. We may actually fly back to the City of Hidden People and just repair and rearm there for a little bit before we move out again. Just wait for the sudden strike alarm, because I'm going to reset the sudden strike alarm again when I hit Tarshish, and I'm making a lot of noise on purpose. I actually want the enemy to come down to this area here, because I've got all of my resources in range. Once I've done that, I will then... let's grab some ammo, because you can pick up some rare ammo sometimes. I will then use the fact the enemy are here to try and kill a few of them before they really know what's going on. And I've got a lot of money right now. I just think it makes sense. Whereas if I waited till late in the campaign and be a bit harder, you'll see what I mean. You'll see my plan play out. All right, you guys have finished here. I don't really want to risk it because there's a chance that a Strikefleet could fly across from up here. They might not follow the trade routes. I think they will follow the trade routes. I've not seen them fly across the desert, but that doesn't mean they won't do it. Let's order them. It's probably not safe to land here. Well, I need to wait for them to finish refueling anyway. They have finished refueling. Okay, well let's... Oh, okay. Let's get the flare launchers then. I want to sell the fuel, basically, and I want to check if there's anything interesting in this city. Alright, here, let's get ready to launch... Oh, I took the Howler with me, which was stupid. Let's get the Brunswick and the Patrick to leave the Howler behind. Then we will order the Howler to fly down to Nimreth and refuel. It is now carrying that D80 Molot. Who have I ordered where? Yeah, you guys have got it. And then I'll order the Brunswick to fly to Tarshish ahead of the Patrick. The Patrick I'm going to order to slow down. Alright, we've got a thermal spike coming in from the north. Now, is that correct? Is that correct, or is that my ship flying away from me? Because I've also got thermal spikes. I've got a thermal spike here, which is directly towards Tarshish. Yeah, I've got a thermal spike at Tarshish. I don't think there's a missile coming for me. I think we've picked up a trade fleet. Who's in the lead here? You... Yeah, you... This is... Okay. Just want to make sure I don't send the wrong ship in. You guys can now land. Let's just quickly sell the fuel. I'm not going to land you to repair. Okay. Oh, this is brilliant, the caravan. This is such a good event. A dozen colourful tents dot the sand on the edge of the city, surrounded by vehicles and scurrying servants, all signs of a visiting caravan. You decide to pay them a visit and ask them about current events. The caravan leader invites you into his tent and shares his deepest concerns with you. Grand Noyon, the stars that guide us are disappearing. You hear emotion in his voice as he continues. I refuse to believe it at first, but the star of the east, Al Jamiri, has not been seen in the sky for a month. The charts I bought in Mashed are useless now that Al Jamiri is no more. These are the end times, Grand Noyon. These are the end times. The Aleem shakes his head in sorrow. But I can ask him if there are any hidden cities nearby. Oh. I'm pretty sure I clicked on hidden cities. Whatever. I know where they are. I've worked it out. Sell the fuel. That's frustrating. Oh, laser guided 130. I need laser guided 180. No, is it laser guided 130 I need? D80 Molot. I don't think it's D80. It is laser guided 130 I need. Alright, cool. We got some good components there. Let's check what the shipbox has got for us to buy. We've got Fab 1000s. I've got 6 of them in the fleet here, but I could easily buy some more. I've got KH-15Ps, A100s, T7s for sale here. We've got more Zeniths as well. I'm a bit leery. I can sell this A220. I can just sell these Molots. I don't need them. So that's more money for me to spend on stuff. I've got a radar jammer. Let's grab... I'm probably going to just grab their whole stock of bombs, to be honest. They're going to cost me nothing to buy, and they're really useful. There's 15 Zeniths here. How many can I buy before it gets ridiculous? Okay, that's probably enough. I don't need any planes right now. But this is a very good port. Alright, let's get these guys out of here. They actually have enough fuel to fly to the city and the people, so I'm just going to send them straight here. I want them out of danger. Now, let's see what's going on here. I think there is a trade fleet in Tarshish.
Attention. Visual
Found them.
contact. Thermal signature detected.
The garrison at Tarshish has flown out to intercept us, I believe.
Attention. Visual contact.
I was correct. Alright. Got one Talos to take. So the Talos, I don't think I've ever encountered a Talos before. Let's take a look at it. It's got 2 AK-100s. It has 2 engines. It has a slight bit of armoring, flare launchers. It looks weak as hell. It has a very interesting component section here where it has a fuel cell above an armor plate. But I think if I just shoot at it from the bottom or the top, I'll break through and hit these fuel tanks here. If I shoot from the top, I'll hit these fuel tanks here. Bridge is right there. It should be easy to kill. Let's just use standard ammo for this fight. We're probably going to need to use our proxies in the next fight. That's the prize ship. I don't want to shoot that. There's our target. Please chase my flares. Thank you. Flew into the missile. I flew into the missile. I can't afford to take the damage, even though I can't afford to take the morale loss. Flying into missiles is such bad news. Okay, I have to win in this fight. I was doing really well until I hit that missile. And I really need to fix my flare launchers very badly. Because I just keep flying into the rockets, even though they're not homing in on me anymore. What is that he dropped? Oh, there's shots from a gun that's not working properly. Of course I lost my missile. So even the protected slots don't really work that well for protecting my Zeniths. Okay, he's down. We've taken the prize ship. So what's going to happen next is the garrison from Tarshish is going to come and intercept us. What I could... let's just go into the fight. And then we can take Tarshish without a fight once we've dealt with the garrison. This is going to be a hard fight with this garrison. I'm thinking it's going to be hard. We've got a flower. Oh, oof. This is going to be incredibly difficult. Get that proc fuse going. 2 Navarins. The flower. It's the gladiator I'm worried about. We know how to deal with the gladiator. We have 1 missile because the Brunswick hasn't been refit. Okay. Let's see if we can hit that gladiator early with a missile. I'm just going to take him out with a missile now. There's the gladiator. Let's get below him and try to do as much damage as we can early. Get underneath and just blast away. It's the only way we can fight him. And try not to use as much fuel as I'm using. Okay, we killed the gladiator, but I was way too aggressive. We're down to 1 morale. I have to win with this fight. I have to win. Let's take it easy. That was nasty. Flip. I did it, but I died. I did it, but I died. I did it, but I died.